Rams beat the Buccaneers on Sunday, 34-24. You took a look at the film. What stood out?
Well, I mean, where do you want to start? You want to start on Rams-O?
Stafford. Let's start with Stafford.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, there's two things that jump out to me, more than anything. Games like that in the past with the Los Angeles Rams where they can't run the ball and just, move the ball that way, we kind of see them really struggle on the offensive side of the ball. Those days are over. They're over. They're a different football team. I mean, the drop-back pass game has greatly improved with the Los Angeles Rams. And I'm not just saying just because of the quarterback, but I think just because the confidence the quarterback has given the play designer and McVay, the fact that they just have more plays that they throw at you, more formations, because, there's just no limit to what he can do. He can get the ball really quickly out of his hands and throw it accurate, like screen passes like this. Of course, he can make right reads and get the team in the right play. That's easy living, definitely. But damn, all the deep routes and things like that, these are years that these are things we didn't see a ton. Drop back pass game, perfect bomb to Deshaun Jackson. The Rams offense, one, like the Bucs or we talked about the Cowboys, it's hard to match up with them across the board. And the other thing, Mike, I'll go back to, and you heard me say this last week, that Kevin Carberry, their new offensive line coach. I mean, they to me, that has changed the mantra of their team to a degree too. That great Buccaneers defense, hey, they were good enough running the ball to where the Bucs had to at least respect it a little bit. And then their pass protection is really, really special too. So they got it rolling on that side of the ball, and I just can't imagine it really slowing down or them not being dangerous.
How did they sneak Deshaun Jackson past the defense for the third time? Because the two times they got away with it before, and they were going to get burned, but Stafford's arm got hit, and he didn't get the ball to Jackson. How do they sneak him by a third time? Isn't it alert, alert, alert when Deshaun Jackson's on the field?
You would think so, but I think people still, we didn't see a lot of it or much of it the first 2 weeks, right? We heard McVay was going to make a conscious effort to get Deshaun Jackson the ball more. And I also think when the teams break down the Rams still, and they're still probably breaking down games from last year and McVay's offense from there and playing those numbers, they're going, well, these are things we haven't had to worry about this part of the field. So there's a little bit of that. Also with this, on that play specifically right there, it was quarters coverage, right? 4 across. That typically has given the Rams and the Jared Goff offense issue. Remember the year they went to the Super Bowl, right? The Bears stymied them in Chicago on a cold night. I think it was Sunday Night Football. If not, it was Monday night. But the Patriots, they took that Bears game plan in the Super Bowl and played a lot of those same coverages and basically said, oh, wait, we like this coverage because it clouds the middle of the field, and that's where Rams and Goff like to throw the ball. It gets us a few more people towards the line of scrimmage to stop the runs and the bootlegs. You can't do that anymore. No. Not with Mr. Laserbeam number 9 throwing the ball for the Rams now. That's where it's changed. And, he ran like a fake in cut, Mike. He acted like he was going to run in, and the safety jumped it, and then he took off. And there's a lot to defend right now in that Rams offense.
Why can't they take away Cooper Kupp? We know how this goes. It's the Bill Belichick approach to playing against a good offense. Take away what they do best. What they do best is get the ball to Cooper Kupp. Why can't they slow him down?
Well, one, all the other guys are good, right? It's a little bit like you bring up with good offenses all the time. You can't really pin one guy to go, oh, they're going to do this with this guy or that with this guy. All their receivers, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, they're very similar in skill set. So it's hard to play like, oh, they're only going to do this with Cooper Kupp. The biggest thing I think is great play design at times with Cooper Kupp where they put him in the spot where the play is designed and McVay goes, wait, they're going to play this coverage, and he should be able to read the coverage the right way and run the right route. And then the other thing is just pure physical ability. He is one of those guys, too, that's rare in the fact that, yeah, he understands defense is a great route runner, but if you play him man-to-man, he can beat you with straight speed. And he's a bigger man than people realize when you see him in person, too. So I think it's a little bit of a double whammy of both those effects, at least to me, Mike.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you are overpowering the defense with so many great weapons, what really can you do? What happened to the Buccaneers' vaunted, at least from Super Bowl 55, pass rush? I know JPP's injured, but they're not able to get home, at least not the way we thought they would.
No, they still had Joe Tryon and Shaq Barrett and Vita Vea and Golston out there. It didn't matter. That's where, to me, the Rams are a little different. And the Bucs maybe not hitting on all cylinders in their pass rush right now, but I really think where I look at the Rams, it just, teams like this in the past where they have these overpowering offensive lines, McVay's had to manage the game, but Carberry's given them a few different looks as far as how to run the ball compared to the way they've run the ball through the McVay era. And then I think, just pass protection-wise, it just seems more sound without me getting too technical. They really understand how to pick things up and how to block and how to help each other out. And to me, it's one of the, other than Stafford, it's probably the biggest difference in that Rams team.
What did you see from Brady's effort, his performance, his overall effectiveness or lack thereof on Sunday?
Well, still a great football game. He still made so many great throws. There's no question about that. The Rams match up really well with the Bucs. The one thing I worried about in the game a little bit was to go, maybe the Bucs will be too big for the Rams, and the fact that they'll kind of overpower them in the running game to a degree, like we saw them do to the Chiefs and Packers, to where then they got compromised and they were going, man, they're just blowing us off the line of scrimmage and getting 7 or 8 yards. We got to start getting down there and doing things, and all of a sudden that leads to big pass plays in the pass game. But second time the Rams have played the Bucs in the 2 years, the Bucs have a hard time blocking the speed of the Rams, Mike. That would be the first thing I would say. The speed up front of the Los Angeles Rams gives the Bucs issues. And I think that's why they didn't run the ball a whole lot, really, because they started to realize, man, we can't block these guys. They're shooting gaps and making people miss. The other thing that they do is they do a great job of, kind of crowding the line of scrimmage, and they have end of the line, guys like Floyd, Hollins, Terrell Lewis, who play defensive end / outside linebacker, where they can put 5 guys on the line of scrimmage and rush 4, and one of those guys, because they're so athletic, can drop back and really be a handful in the pass game. So, not only are they talented up front and have that aspect, but then it's the fastest defense in football, in my opinion, altogether, and they can do it a little bit of everything in the back end too. A lot of zone coverages. They can play man if they want, and they can do it with an aggressive way where they play zone and take away maybe your thoughts to play, take deep shots, Mike, but also understand kind of what the offense is trying to do on that side of the ball. And within those zones, have a lot of guys in the area Brady's trying to throw the ball, and if that makes sense to how I'm explaining it. So it was a really great defensive effort, and I think bottom line is talent in the back end and then a front 4, like we always talk about, that can get to Brady where they don't have to blitz a whole lot and compromise themselves in coverage.
If they stay healthy, the Rams will be virtually unstoppable. The key is they got to stay healthy. Yeah. They have great balance, but we still have 14 games to go, and then the postseason after that. That's going to be the real key. The Buccaneers are starting to have their injury issues mount. Antonio Brown didn't play because he's on the COVID reserve list, but Scotty Miller's got a toe issue. He could be lost for an extended period of time. Gio Bernard's got an MCL sprain reportedly. So we've got issues on the Bucs, and every team's going to have to weather that storm. It feels like at some point this year the Bucs may have to weather it now, and this isn't an ideal weekend. Gronk too, with the rib injury.
Yeah,
they're getting ready to go to New England.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.